My name is Kelli Pope, and this is the Clinton Arrow Podcast.
So we just had the scores come out for the state, had the district and everything, and it's kind of very unique how Clinton Park really is involved when it comes to state test scores. When we think a lot about our MAP scores, what does MAP stand for? Do you remember? I really, off the top of my head, cannot remember what MAP stands for. Mississippi Accountability.
Assessment and Accountability.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's like where all of the admin minds are right now, kind of 9 weeks into this and with scores coming out. But most of the MAP scores are 3rd through 8th grade. So when we think a lot about Clinton Park scoring scores and being graded, we're sitting there going, but these aren't 3rd through 8th graders. So how do the state test classifications work with Clinton Park getting its grade?
So there's 2 main parts to accountability. There is the proficiency component and the growth component. And to calculate those for Clinton Park, we have to look at the schools that we feed into. So they take the 3rd grade scores to calculate proficiency. So how the students scored in language arts and math. And that comes back to Clinton Park just for the students who actually attended Clinton Park. So they eliminate those who did not attend Clinton Park. And then to calculate our growth, they look at how much the kids grew from 3rd grade to 4th grade. And again, they pull out the kids who actually attended Clinton Park and calculate their growth. And so those 2 numbers go into the formula to calculate our score for accountability.
So tell me a little bit about growth, because a lot of people will hear, especially now with scores coming out and the news stations putting things out, and they always hear the districts talking about growth, kind of in the Michael Scott mindset, because you deal with 5-year-olds. Tell it to me like I'm 5. What is growth?
So they look at how the students scored on the 3rd grade assessment. Did they score a 4 or 5? That would be considered proficient. And then to calculate growth, they have to remain a 4 or a 5. If they remain or go up, then we get a growth point for that. And then our students who scored 1s, 2, or 3s, if they grow and move up a level, we get a point for that. So that is how they calculate growth.
So we just kind of covered that there are no real state tests for the MAP level, 3rd through 8th grade here, but there are tests that our students take here at Clinton Park. What are those tests that they take here, and what are they measuring?
Our kindergartners and our pre-K students take what is called the Kindergarten Readiness Assessment. And it is a state test, but it's not used in the accountability formula. And it is to get a baseline to help us plan a path of instruction for those students so that they pass the 3rd grade reading gate test. So it's kind of the benchmark level. We know where the students are, and we know what we need to do to get them ready to pass that 3rd grade benchmark.
You know, we hear all the, my time teaching at the junior high and teaching at the high school, we talked a lot about testing anxiety, and we heard a lot of parents who were saying, just the kids are tested too much. These exams these assessments they're taking here are not strenuous, stressful exams and tests. They're measuring what they're learning. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. They only take about 20 minutes. It's on the iPad, and the new kindergarten readiness assessment is actually in a game format. And so while we talk to the kids about taking it seriously and doing their best, to them, they're just doing some work on the iPad.
Right, playing a game. So Clinton Park is the first home of the Arrows. We love singing those praises here. And so how does it work that when the students are establishing the foundation for student success, how does the work that they do prepare them for success all the way through high school?
The data has shown us over and over again that the students who start their careers at Clinton Park find success as they move through the grades. The foundations that we lay here, those pre-reading skills, the foundations of reading, the foundations of writing, and even mathematics, are giving the students the things that they need in order to be successful at those future grades.
So you talk about the foundations of everything that they're getting here. Most students, so like when my daughter came through, this was our first time being a parent of a kindergartner. She's in 8th grade now, which amazes me. It makes me feel like I'm almost getting old, but I'll be there soon. Maybe not right now. There are some misconceptions that I think parents have when they come into kindergarten. They've had that precious angel 4, 5, 6 years. So when they're coming to Clinton Park, what are some of the misconceptions that you battle with right at the beginning? And then how do you combat that to then again get them successful?
I think sometimes parents think kindergarten is still like kindergarten of the old days. We're gonna have toys and we're gonna be playing and we're gonna have have the kitchen and those kind of things. And play is so important for kids. And we do take time to play. Our kids work in centers to build those interpersonal skills a lot. But we do hit the ground running. And so we need all of our kids to learn 25 sight words the first 9 weeks. We need them to know all of their letters and sounds by the time we get to Christmas. And so we do a lot of hands-on, we do a lot of center work, but at the same time, we're hitting the ground running to start those foundational skills. So parents need to realize that it's fun. We have a lot of fun at Clinton Park, but we do have a lot of standards to meet.
So some of those went... I was taking pictures a couple weeks ago and walking through some of the classrooms. They were, what are they called when you move them? They're not malleables. They're manipulatives. They were using manipulatives because they were organizing them by color. They were organizing them by description, but then also, too, they're working on their fine motor skills. How does that go into place when teachers are trying to put together, a lesson plan of using those manipulatives?
Yeah, so our kids learn best with hands-on. We know that. The research tells us that. And so anytime that we can engage more than one modality, they're going to remember what they're learning. But at the same time, a lot of our kids are still struggling with fine motor skills. So you'll see us do a lot of things with clothespins where they have to pinch or they have to stack things, they have to build things because they can't write if they don't have fine motor skills.
I know a few adults who have trouble with the clothespins, one of them right here. So primary students are pre-K through first grade students. In real people terms, not educational terms, what are the goals and expectations of our students and our teachers, and how are they striving to achieve these goals? Again, we've got modality and pedagogy and all these wonderful words that these bachelors of education and masters of education, that we understand that very well, but the average Joe, that mom and dad on the street, what are those goals and expectations?
When kids come to Clinton Park, our goal is for every kid to leave here reading on grade level. So we talk about we need 1 year's growth. We need kids to grow 1 year. They need to leave here reading on grade level so that they can be successful on that third grade gate. But aside from that, there's a lot of other skills that kids need before they leave here. They need to know how to share. They need to know how school works. They need to know how to function in a group. They need to know how to tell people their name and their address and where they're supposed to be. So we work a lot on those underlying skills that really aren't academic that they're going to need for future success.
I think a lot of that too. I think some of the parents, me being one of them, I think we went through a little bit of lessons of learning how to not be so much in charge and let our students start to create some of that that hands-onness and
independence.
Yes, very much independence. All right, so the last question here. So the very first new episode that we did here, I talked to Chef Bruce and Chef Phillips about what they're doing in CTE. So kind of keeping along the same lines of recipes, we have a recipe for success here in Clinton, and very much so here at Clinton Park. Y'all do a wonderful job. We got a dash of this, a dash of that. What all goes into making a Clinton Park student successful? Think kind of the traditional stuff that we've talked about, but kind of all the other stuff too. What makes them successful today, but also 12 years from now?
I think the biggest thing at this age is it's got to be a partnership between home and school. We've got to have parents helping us. We've got to have parents supporting us, and we're so thankful that we have that at Clinton Park. Our parents buy into what we're doing. They send their kids with their homework. They send them with the supplies they need. They're talking to them about the things that we're doing at school, and so they're coming to school ready to receive the things that we have to give them.
All right, I know I said last question. This is really the last question. So just recently, you celebrated your 10th anniversary of being the principal here at Clinton Park. Just in a little bit of words, what are some of the things that you've loved, seen, and grown over the last 10 years?
It has been amazing to watch the transformation, not just at Clinton Park, but in the whole school district in the time that I've been here. We've seen new buildings come up. We've seen new athletic facilities come up, but the buy-in that we have from the community as a whole, from athletics to academics to supporting our arts to providing us anything that we need. Anytime we have a need and we ask, everything is given to us. And I think just to see that partnership continue to grow, that's not something that every district has. And it's pretty amazing what we have here.